Alright, so we are going to talk a whole lot today about how to do this project. This project is called a still life. You guys done still lifes in the past? Kind of, sort of, maybe? No? No one's groaning, so I'm going to guess that you haven't done it before. No? Alright, still lifes can be a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie to you. I would love to tell you that they're the best thing ever, but they can get a little annoying. I'm going to make this as fun as humanly possible. Joy will just come oozing out of your ears when you're done with this project. Hopefully not cause a really big mess. Joy is hard to. So, what we're going to talk about today, before we get into it, is a couple little quick vocab words, just so you guys understand some of the concepts that I'm going to be spewing out to you, as well as kind of a breakdown of some of those concepts, okay? So some things first. Obviously, still life. You don't really need a vocab or a definition of it. Just know the word. Still life. It's this. That was good. So just draw a picture. We're going to be using, to do this project, we're going to be using a whole bunch of different types of charcoal. Charcoal is a very fun thing to use. It's kind of messy. You're going to get dirty. The sink is in the back. Really, at the end of the day, charcoal is about 3 steps away from what you think it is. It's that stuff that you cook on in the grill, you know, little briquettes. All we're going to draw with, not the briquettes, a form of charcoal. So there's different types. There are charcoal pencils of different weight. What that basically means is how dark they write. Okay. So there's charcoal pencils. I have 3 different types. This one's a little softer. You'll see what I mean whenever we do the demo. I have a China marker here. Word of the wise fell into this mistake earlier in the day. These aren't sharpened in a pencil sharpener. Okay? Whenever you want to make them sharp, you just grab this little tiny thread right here. You pull 1 notch down. You'll see what I mean whenever it's closer. You kind of get your finger down there, and you peel. And you peel and peel and peel and peel and peel. And voila! Sharper tip, right? Super fun. I'm crazy. And then you take this and you throw it away. So you have this. This is a fun marker. Really, at the end of the day, it's like the Sharpie of the pencil world. It's going to give you a really black, really dark, straight line, but you're not going to be doing much shading with this. So keep that in mind. Again, we'll talk more about the demo. I have some white pencils up here. If you want to do really bright highlights, that's for that. Obviously, pencil sharpeners. And then today we're going to talk about a magical new tool that you guys may or may not have used before called buying charcoal. Buying charcoal is super duper fun, super duper messy, and really kind of a pain in the butt to use. But if you can master it, you're going to have a really good time with it because you just start laying down shades and tones every which direction. It's great fun. Again, we're going to talk more about that in our demo. We also have a whole bunch of erasers and kneaded eraser. I totally suggest that you guys use kneaded eraser on this particular project because you can get some really neat, crisp little lines and nice shading. Okay. But again, we're going to go over that again during the demo. Okay. All right. So principles first. Charcoal. We're going to talk today about a thing called composition. If you've used that before, you already know what it is. If you don't, make sure to jot it down because that's a word we're going to use often. Good composition. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, is that those notebooks that I get in English class? No, that's a composition notebook. This is a composition in the sense of laying out your page. Okay? Now, I can sit down and I can start drawing and just take this. Right? Doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a good picture. If you could take as much time as you want to make it, the shading just perfect. But if there isn't good composition, your eye as the viewer, you're not really going to want to follow along. Okay? So today we're going to work on a thing called doing thumbnails. Thumbnails are little drawings of what you're going to do eventually. You're going to do a couple of them. I actually am going to ask that you do at least 3, but you'll see it's going to be a 2-day project. You're probably going to do more than that. That's okay. And basically what I want you to do is either from your desk, or you can get up, grab a chair, grab one of the drawing boards in the back. I'm just going to walk around. Find a good angle that you like. Oh, I like that paintbrush. Okay, I'll do that real quick. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'll run over here and see what this is. Oh, yeah. Oh, telephone buttons. Yeah. You get the idea. Not rocket science, but you want to find good composition. It does help, and I know you look like a total goober if you do it, but it totally helps if you take fingers, right? Do like 2 L's, right? And you line it up like this. And you can kind of squint your eye and you kind of line up your frame a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's the shot I want. Okay. And you start drawing. It doesn't look cool, but seriously, it will totally help you. So just remember, you're a loser if you do this, but you'll draw better. So, just that. We're going to talk about shadow or value. I'm repeating it for a reason. Within value, we have a thing called shade and tint. Shade is relatively easy. It's shadow, shade. We know that word. Tint is the exact opposite. It's adding some white to it. If you ever go down to the hardware store and someone says, you know, oh, I like that color, but I want to add a tint of purple, they're lying to you. Tint is white. You're making it lighter. Okay? Shadow or shade is darker. So, those are the two fun vocab words for today. But we are going to work on those. We're going to work on a thing called chiaroscuro. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Shading. We're going to talk much more about that later on. That's a crazy advanced technique, but it's something you'll have fun with. Whenever you have your page, maybe you guys have done this before, you can hold it either landscape, get that? Landscape, like you're drawing a landscape, or you can do it like a portrait. Guess what this is called? A portrait. It's like someone figured this out ahead of time. I do expect you guys to use this terminology. Did you do your picture in a portrait style? Did you do it in a landscape style? You should know the difference. It's pretty basic, but these are new terms and I get that. You'll have the choice whenever you do your still life project to choose to do it portrait or landscape. Now, this might be a little bit advanced, but I love using it. They use it in film, they use it in art, they use it in everything. That's why it's a rule. It's called the rule of thirds. Okay? The rule of thirds is simple enough. You break your page into thirds, into three portions. Okay? So you kind of get this lines going on right there. Now, obviously do that in your head. You don't have to actually draw it. And to help you find good composition, whatever your focal point is, whatever that happens to be in your still life, you want to make sure that you either line it up on an X where those points cross, or you want to line it up dead center in one of those squares. You can also line it on one of the lines. Now that's a whole lot of little dots going on this page. But what you may or may not be realizing is, this is a whole lot of little dots on the page, but it really does limit you from a blank page. It's saying, hey, whatever your focal point is, you have to put it here. You have to put it here. You get the idea. That is really, really, really going to strengthen your composition. Okay? The key is, you as the artist still have to decide what your focal point is. Is it going to be the teapot? Is it going to be the iron? Is it going to be the telephone? The vase? You get the idea. Figure out what you want to be your focal point. For this particular project, what I want you guys to think about and to keep in mind is, you can do as many or as little thumbnails as you want. Again, minimum 3. You can go as close as you want and do super detail, or you can go super far away and get a whole bunch of things in your picture. That's up to you. I do ask though, if you go super duper close and get a whole lot of detail, a whole lot of texture in your drawing, have at least 3 objects in your art. Okay? So, you know, don't just do the telephone. Do the telephone and the seashell and the driftwood or whatever you choose. Okay? Pretty simple stuff. All right. So with all of that being said, we know about thumbnails, we have a better idea about composition. Let's do a quick breakdown of the demo so you guys know more about what this project is going to be.